Many people live their lives void of purpose, void of meaning. The average person cannot articulate the reason or the basis for its existence. You see, here's the average course, here's the trajectory of the average man. You are born, struggle your way through teenage, then if you're fortunate enough you to have a guidance system, you escape so many negative experience along the way. But if you're not fortunate, you begin to write a nasty story that it will take a long lifetime to heal from. Who am I? And there's this pressure, this upcoming pressure to become something you're not, just to fit in. And why do people do that? The people do this because of the fear of rejection. The fear of rejection, according to psychology, is a clear message that you are not needed in a system, in a place, in your workplace, or any social gathering at all. So people conform to the status quo to fit into whatever social group. And you think that people who have lived this average life would see the end being, let me run back the trajectory of the average man. You are born, you struggle your way through teenage. If you're fortunate enough you to have a guidance system, you will escape so many negative experiences. If you're unfortunate, you begin to write a nasty story that will take a long lifetime to heal. Few years later, you attain 18. Society calls you an adult. Sometimes you begin a clueless journey towards adulthood. Fast forward, you go through or you pass through any secular curriculum. You get a job, you get married, you retire struggle arguing and die. I hope I did not describe you, and I hope I didn't describe where you're going, because that is a dangerous way to live. And you think that the people who have already seen this defined doom would discern and change the way, but yet we keep seeing over and over this cycle of, of purposelessness, people being defined by external materials. Who am I? You see, Dr. Mike Murdoch pointed out a question is a seed for an answer. When you see a madman talking to himself, he's just speaking gibberish. He's just talking. And also, talking is not an answer. An answer is a response. So, today, the first question we are going to answer is, who am I? A question of identity. Who am I? And this question must be answered before you begin anything or any journey in life, because if you desire if you have a glorious destiny and you desire to rise to the highest echelon of the profession, situations and society will challenge your identity here and again. And if you do not answer this question at the infancy of your career or any venture you decide to endeavor in, you would not last. Who am I? You see, we see young people today having this rising pressure to propose a narrative that is not there, but results without mental transformation only recycle season. You live in a one-room apartment, you pass through a three-bedroom apartment, so to give a narrative that you are living is unnecessary. It's totally unnecessary. The Bible does not leave us in the dark as to men can rise. The greatest conglomerate, the Facebook, the Alibabas, they all started from a small, tiny room. That tiny room is not your end, it's not your defined path. It's the place for you to read your books. draw up the plans, write the visionaries, write the visions, press towards your vision or your goal. That's what that small confine that you're in is for. Now, we're going to answer the question, who am I? For the average man, he becomes anything regarding to who's putting the pressure. So there's this upcoming pressure to become anything depending on who's putting the pressure. Society. And society has a way of bullying you psychologically if you don't have a predefined parameters captured in your life. So you about to join a group. They say these are the requirements to join our so-called circle. If you're not this, if you're not that, you can't be part of us. And as I mentioned earlier, that whenever we see rejection, we have the tendency to conform to that status quo that makes us accepted. So you become something you're not to fit in. Who am I? See, a millionaire is not someone, it's not his identity. A millionaire is someone that has millions. Take away the millions, who is he? That's why you see rich people who beat their chest and make arrogant statements. But take away everything I have and I can rebuild because they found self-worth. They know who they are. If there's something you take away from this teaching today, is live here with a settled confidence that you are not defined by your physical reality. Your limitation does not define you. Your limitation does not define you at any point in time. That is why, so if I'm a dummy, if I have a car and I have a house probably, then it makes me feel superior amongst my contemporaries. So that is why we see young men and youths participate in all kinds of vices just to prove a point, just to get the physical things that they interpret as as wealth or they interpret as boosting their status. So that is a risk and a dangerous way to live. So if the car gets spoiled, what next? You lose your sense of self-worth. And this is what the fashion in that's what the fashion industry is built upon. The fashion industry is built upon the fact that you don't have identity or you lack self-identity. So they feed on that and they sell someone's image to you. That's the whole purpose of the fashion industry. And if you don't celebrate yourself, no one would celebrate you. It's fraud to call people to celebrate what you yourself don't celebrate. You don't have to wait for compliments to feel confident about yourself. I want you to live after this teaching with a settled confidence that you are not defined by anything external aside yourself. You are a work in progress. You do, and I'm not saying, we live in a situation where you can make a nuance point. I'm not saying to embrace everything about yourself because some of you have bad character. You go to a place, you insult everybody, they say lift up your hands, you say no. That is a bad character, that is ill manner. You are ill manner. So there are things that you work, but I want you to understand that you work in progress. And the lines are falling in pleasant places for you. It's only a matter of time before it all makes sense. So don't despise your small beginnings, one. Two, don't let someone define you with his ignorance or from his ignorance, someone who has made no impact to your destiny, someone who is still trying to figure his way around life, then defines you with his ignorance. You go home crying. You say you want to become a leader, a visionary leader, leading tens of thousands of people. Someone calls you stupid. You go home crying. The real question is, are you stupid? I'll end this video with a quote from Dr. Miles Monroe. The wealthiest place are not the gold mines in Africa or the oil in Middle West, but the cemetery where books that were never written dwell in. Speeches that would have altered the thinking of nations never made. I want you to ask yourself, would you rob us of that gift that you refuse to honor due to laziness and all sorts of excuses you've conjured up? Until next time, guys, it's always a pleasure talking to you guys. And if there's anything you'd like to see or like to hear me talk about, comment down below. Alright, thank you guys. Appreciate you for watching. Next time.